Well, Ben, it's that moment we've been waiting for on the show, since we started and we haven't been able to contain ourselves. It's Jarret.
Hey guys.
How are you, mate?
Good, very good, very good. It's another light on week for home entertainment this week, so
What's going on?
don't get too excited at this point. But yeah, it's baffling. I honestly don't know. I think it's a bit of a dry spell of releases at the moment, and certainly nothing spectacular this week. Although one of the titles I did really enjoy, but it's not like it's a tentpole, major distributor title. But yeah, we've got Mad Men coming out this week, and they've got two releases that are hitting DVD and Blu-ray. The first of which is no doubt one that'll pique your interest, Glenn. It's Savage Salvation coming out on DVD and
Right.
Blu-ray. This is
Yes.
like another DTV actioner that stars like A-listers that are collecting a paycheck. Robert De Niro and John Malkovich in this one, and I don't know, it's hard to get excited about this at all, to be honest. Like, I mean, it's what are these guys doing? They're in the twilight of their careers, and I know that they want to make a little money, but surely they've made enough money not to destroy the legacy that they've created with the great films they've done.
I read the other day, I don't know if was it an interview or just an article about Robert De Niro saying how the trajectory his career is taking now is to ensure the future for his grandchildren.
Okay,
Like,
well,
and I mean, I would have assumed this guy was like made of it.
But like,
surely,
what's the line? What's the line
yeah.
that you cross to go from A-lister to, like, Bruce Willis was the last big one to really cross that line hardcore. Like, it went from, box office draw card to I don't even want to watch this movie on DTV.
Yes,
Like, his standards just went to absolute shit. And
absolutely.
now, like, John
And
Malkovich
and
has always straddled that line.
and
He's
yet,
done a
like, you
couple
could
of,
call that a fall from grace, but he kind of then aligns with the people we idolize.
yeah.
Yeah, true, true.
He gets to that level, and then you're like, when are you going to do a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yeah, I don't even think Jean-Claude Van Damme's going to dip that low at this point in time. The standard of films he's producing, granted they're not theatrical, they still feel a damn sight better than any of these films that are being churned out and sent straight to home entertainment. Yeah,
Yeah.
There you
it's
go.
a sad state of affairs, really. Like, I mean, it was only what, like maybe 6, 7 years ago, we had De Niro, in The Intern, which was a Twilight movie for him, and it was a terrific film,
Yeah.
and Dirty Grandpa. I mean, we saw the trajectory, the slide from doing serious dramatic roles to suddenly doing all these comedies, but it was good, because at least they were entertaining. Now he's doing these DTV actioners,
Well,
and
I
I
think
don't know.
not Kill the Irishman. The Irishman
The Irishman.
was the kind
Yeah.
of that where they had to CG him into the stomping scene because he just was too
Awful.
old to. The arthritis was too bad to pull it off. That you're like, okay,
It's
maybe. Yeah, but you'd think he would, like, even Al Pacino, who has turned into, like, he in even from, like, what was that, Danny? What was the one where he plays the aging rock star, Danny something or another, who's
Yep.
reconnects with his son, whatever the hell that movie is. Like, he looks like a homeless person, but like a wealthy homeless person.
He did
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Phil
Whereas, like,
Spector movie. He did the bloody
Well,
Dr.
that
Kevorkian movie.
yeah,
yeah, and that they were all
and
like
now he's
HBO, made for cable movies, but they had production value, and at least he was gonna potentially get nominated for an Emmy. But now he's doing films with De Niro that are like a far cry from Heat. They're,
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
he,
all-star cast, awful
he needs to
DTV
do
actionists.
TV. Like, even Pacino is like a Nazi hunter now
Yeah.
on Amazon Prime, I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
But that's what
Hunters, yeah.
Hunters. That's what De Niro should be doing. That's what
Hey,
Malkovich should be doing.
we shit on this, but we haven't seen this movie. It could be gold.
It's true. Look,
Probably
I'll,
not.
I'll wait for your review on that one, Glenn.
I mean, look, to tell you the truth, the thing that's most surprising is that Madman is doing it on Blu-ray.
It's shocking, isn't it? Well, Mad Men started to do a few more titles on Blu-ray of late. Of course, the films that are, their art house foreign films are rarely getting Blu-rays, but these DTV actioners must sell. They must do business for, Defiant and not Umbrella, sorry, Mad Men, because they're putting them out on Blu-ray. So I guess it must be a niche, and they can sell anywhere between maybe 300 to 500 copies of them on Blu-ray.
Which is the remarkable thing, because usually the English language films you can get on Blu-ray from the US or from the UK if you really have to. It's those art house foreign language ones that half the time, if without that Madman release, you're not even going to get one with English subtitles. You can only buy it in its home territory, which now you can't, thanks to Amazon's cracking down on getting stuff from Amazon France and Amazon Germany.
Call me really naive here, and you guys are the best people to talk about
Glenn,
it. So,
you're really naive.
So the cost of Blu-rays versus DVDs to manufacture, is it just the materials? Is it the actual process, digitally? Where's the cost?
3 times the amount.
Yeah, but I mean, where is the cost in the process? Is it the materials? Is it the computer side of things?
It's the manufacturing and the authoring.
So if, say, someone like Madman had excess of discs, Blu-ray, is that cheaper for them to just put them out on Blu-ray that way? Or does the cost lie in the whole mastering and things like that?
Oh, it's an entire process. There's no such thing as having extra discs that you just have lying around, like you make them to order. But from the glass mastering all the way down to the motion menu in the background, Blu-ray is 3 times the cost of a DVD.
There we go.
Crazy.
Informative.
Everything, like each disc, the slicks are probably the only thing that remains the same price.
Yep, right.
The actual covers.
The Amaray cases are probably more expensive as well, the Blu-ray cases.
Amaray cases, they used to be, back when I paid attention to such things, were about 40 cents a unit, whereas the DVD cases, depending on how cheap you want it to go, 10, 15 cents maybe.
Yeah, because you can get real cheap with those DVD cases. Some of them have the most putrid smell to them.
I was about to say, you can
where
tell
the
by
hell
the
were
smell.
they made? Yeah. And what are they made of?
And do you want to know the most putrid smelling DVD I have of all things is Necromaniac. True. It's got that real rancid smell to it. I reckon it might have been deliberate.
Even they've beaten Umbrella to the punch with that Stanko-vision that they're doing with Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Yeah, it smells like tires. But even at our worst, when I was working for Bounty and we were doing those classics on recycled cases, which were the ones that smelled, they're still, I take those over the environmentally friendly ones that cutouts in them. So every time you buy one, it comes smashed. It just has absolutely no weight to it.
The eco case, it's always dislodged off the spindle, and the slick is, pretty much pressed through the holes of the eco case, and it's just, I tend to replace them immediately, because even if you put them in your collection and you've got them sort of, bookshelved by, bookend by other DVDs in proper cases, you tend to find that they just go,
I mean, look, I'd be willing to go back to a snapper case in replacement of those.
I don't know, man. That's a bold call. I don't think we ever need to go back there.
I love a good snapper case. I just wish you could buy the replacement bits for when the.
Oh, totally. I like them as I love keeping one. Like, I think I've got a few in the collection, and it's a real good throwback because it really takes you back to the late 90s. The
Disney were doing them back in the day.
Oh yeah, and Warner.
I've got a little row. I've got a row of them, and that's how they're grouped. They're it's like in High Fidelity when he arranges his record collection based on the mood he was feeling when he was
autobiographical.
And mine is based, like, I've just got like a snapper case section. I have to remember, oh, that's right, Palmetto had a snapper case, so that's in the cupboard on the back row.
I love that. I love that. Look, if you can have a word with Umbrella, and if they do ever release to DVD or even Blu-ray, because I've never seen a Blu-ray snapper, but if they ever release the Irish comedy classic, The Snapper, it has to come in a snapper case.
Same with that documentary.
yeah, absolutely. The best conceptual case.
Because isn't the Snapper is part of that trilogy with
it is the van and the other one. The Commitments.
The Commitments. They should do all three, but can you do a 3-disc snapper case?
Triple snapper.
I've never even seen a dual disc snapper because back in the days of snapper, they would just put side A and side B.
Yeah.
So it was very hard not to leave fingerprints on any side of the disc getting it out of the snapper.
Just when I thought we couldn't get any nerdier.
This is super nerdy. Okay, so I'll move ahead. There is one other title I want to mention that's coming out from Madman, and this is no doubt going to delight Ben. Triangle of Sadness is coming out, and they're actually doing a Blu-ray for this as well. So DVD and Blu-ray. Obviously, it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture. It won the Palme d'Or, and it's definitely one of the best films of 2022. And so I'm glad it's getting a Blu-ray.
Let's hope we don't have cases you can smell for that one, Ben.
Yeah. Smells like fish, vomit, and feces. I love it. Okay, so I've got some news, and this
All right.
one I want to kind of, I'll give Ben an opportunity to talk about it as well, because he was the integral part in actually making this happen. But Monster Fest, in collaboration with Umbrella Entertainment, are going to launch a brand new line called Monster Fest Presents. And it's a Blu-ray line with limited edition slipcovers and maybe some other cool, this one's got an A3 reversible poster and the title's Mad Heidi. So this is an inaugural release. And Ben, take it away. What special features does this collector's edition of Mad Heidi got on it?
It's pretty. I like to think it's pretty jam packed. It's got two commentaries, one with the director and the co-director, which I don't really understand what the distinction is. Why one is a director and the other is a co-director, and why they're not both co-directors. But we'll let that go for another time. It also has a commentary with the two directors and the main cast, Alice Eve and Casper Van Dien, which is great because I don't think I've never actually heard Casper in a commentary before. So I was very excited to hear that. There's a 20-minute making of documentary, which is really well put together. There is the crowd, because the entire film was actually paid for by crowdfunding, and it had like a decent budget, like a multi-million-dollar budget. And so there's the teaser, there's the funding trailer, then there's teasers and the actual trailer, and there is a stunt reel, which is pretty full on. If you've seen the movie, if you saw it at Monster Fest last year, you'll know it's pretty stunt heavy. It's a pretty big, bold film, considering it's the first film of its kind made in Switzerland.
It's Swissploitation is the term that they're pointing for.
Yeah, but it is entirely in English too.
That's so, Swissploitation.
Is it English with Swedish, like, accents?
Only one character, the evil kind of commandant. I think he's probably the only Swiss actor in the film. Alice Eve, the lead, is English, as is David Schofield, who plays the grandfather, and most of the other kind of female characters are all English actresses, and Casper Van Dien is American, but it's an international cast.
Well, this is cool. It's the first time we've had news that actually involves Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. I only learned of the stunt reel this afternoon when Ben enlightened me that was an additional feature on it as well. It's a pretty stacked release, and the beauty of this release is it will go out trade-wide, which means you can go to other retailers and get it. However, you can only get the standard Blu-ray, which will have all the special feature content, but it won't have the slipcover and the A3 reversible poster. And it'll also get a DVD release, which I believe the DVD might only have the theatrical trailer on it, Ben. Is that correct?
Look, I don't even know about that word theatrical. It's got the trailer.
I like to call it theatrical trailer. But yeah, this one's going to be exclusive to the Umbrella web store. So it's up for pre-order now. It's coming out May 24th, and it's the first of hopefully a successive run of titles. We're already working on the second film, but it's too early to announce that one. But Ben, do you think we might have maybe 3 or 4 titles before year's end out on this new Monster Fest Presents line?
I think the plan is at least 3.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? Depending on what happens, we've got a couple of film markets coming up before the end of the year, and as the way these things go, you can't hold on to films till Monster Fest, which is what we would have done in the past. Now you kind of got to get them out quick. So who knows?
Stay tuned.
Interesting times.
Maybe
well, there you go. That's PE class for this week, and I managed to get Ben to do half the segment.
I might get him to do the rest of the show.
Yes.
All right, thanks, mate. We're going to see you next week.
Absolutely. I'll see you, gentlemen.